Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Yesterday, Asiana Flight 214 crashed in San Francisco. Having viewed the actual footage of the crash, it's amazing that there were not more deaths and severe injuries. Tragically, I believe it's 5 people are dead, including 2 16-year-old girls. And there are people at the hospital with injuries that are life-threatening, and others that appear to promise permanent paralysis. Now, the National Transportation Security Board will take its time with the investigation. They certainly don't want to jump to conclusions. They want to make sure that they have it exactly right when they finally issue a report. And I can't think that is the way they should behave. But I'm not bound by that, and having heard the stories told by the passengers, having heard the news reports, and having viewed the video of the accident, you don't have to be a genius to figure out what happened. The flight crew screwed up royally, especially the one that was actually piloting the plane, but all of them. Now, the pilot grossly undershot the runway. Now, there is a technology which was out of service due to construction at the airport that it basically just guides the pilot on a flight path onto the runway. But on a clear day, an experienced pilot should be able to land the plane. And there are other systems, backup systems in place to help the pilots as they land the plane. As the pilot approaches an airport to land, there is what is called a precision approach path indicator. It's a set of lights located beside the runway, usually about 300 yards ahead of the actual landing threshold. These lights are very bright and clearly visible from at least like 5 miles out. And when you look at the lights, if you're too high, you see mainly white lights. If you're too low, you see mostly red lights. And what you do is you adjust your altitude to the point where you see an equal number of red and white lights. That's how that works. Pilots use the phrase, white you're light, red you're dead. And I have flown in private planes, and you can't miss these lights. They are impossible to miss. There were 3 pilots in the cockpit, and nobody said anything to the captain who was landing the plane until the very last minute. And that's totally inexplicable, except for the fact that it isn't. The last time I was in Korea, I read an article that had to do with a crash that had occurred in Guam. And the problem is that Korean culture, and as a matter of fact, a lot of Asian culture, you just don't question authority. In the Guam crash, the first officers had noticed problems developing with the captain's approach, but did not speak up because he was the captain. Now, efforts have been made to encourage flight crews to speak up, but I suspect that this flight crew followed their cultural imperative rather than their pilot training, and did not speak up until it was way too late. Now, what I'm saying is speculation, but it's not idle speculation. It's educated speculation. I'm a regular flyer, and wherever I go, I learn as much as I can about the culture and the people. Speculation or not, I can say one thing for sure. This was an accident that never should have happened. Thanks for listening.